Welcome to Angelo's Tennis. And I'm just going to have this playing in the background. And I want to talk a little bit about tennis and whatever kind of comes up, but specifically how many matches per year players should play. And before I get into that, this is just me and my partner. We're just hitting around. Usually we play a couple sets. I'm not sure what happened here. One of us maybe didn't feel well. So the tennis is pretty bad, to say the least. But that's okay. We'll have it here as a backdrop. And I want to talk about this tennis match thing. And I'm going to make a statement here that's probably pretty far out there. And that is that all tennis players should play somewhere between 10 and 60 plus matches per year. And I want to use that word all, including beginners. And I want to get into that as well. If you're not playing matches on the regular, there's absolutely no need for instruction. This is the irony of the tennis world, because most people are not playing even 10 matches a year. If you think of say a high school player, for example, a high school player, you're just a freshman, you start off playing tennis for the first time, you made the team, and you might play you might play 10 singles matches in a year. Your season's over and then you're done for the year. And I'm not including doubles. This is singles only. And you could think of a high school player can say that they played for 4 years and they could only play less than 40 matches in 40 years. So this is really important because most people don't get this and they're probably not gonna get it, but that's the reality of it. And coming back to beginners, even beginners should be doing this. And I'm talking about 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds. And you think of how much little tennis that really is if you think about it. Maybe an hour and a half a week is 50 matches in a year. And I'm not even saying that the beginners should be playing 50 matches a year, but it's if it's depending on what the format is, it's perfectly okay. Now, certainly the way the USTA tournament structure is now, you're not going to have a 10-year-old playing 50 matches a year. And they're probably going to be doing other things. But back to this idea of the beginner. And most beginners the reason why most beginners wouldn't play that many matches or matches at all is because they lack confidence. And that's why we use the red ball and that's why we use the mini court. Because if they can play with confidence on the mini court, that is where they're going to get their matches in. And it doesn't matter if it's red ball, orange ball, green ball, mini tennis, pickleball, blue ball, green ball, whatever. It's that fact that the ball's going back and forth and there's free play involved and there's this idea of trying to win a point. That's what's important. And there's other things that are important too, but that's what's of primary importance. And when I come back to like really little kids, beginners, I'll tell you what I did when I had my club. There was a wall running the whole way along the club, and I always had wall hitting as part. I got the kids, really young kids, I wanted to get them hitting against the wall successfully as quickly as possible. That was one of our main stations. And I had multiple ways of doing that. And eventually, after say 6 months, sometimes it took 6 months, but say 6 months to a year, these kids were hitting off the wall like it was nothing. And imagine having a 6-year-old, having all the 6-year-olds in a club hitting off the wall with ease, 15 in a row, 20 in a row, playing games against the wall, hitting hard against the wall, etc. This is what happens when they do that on a, once or twice, or even just once or twice a week. And then I'll move to, when they get that confident, then we move to matches. There's, kids matches, fun matches. And same thing for orange ball, green ball, etc. It doesn't matter that it's orange ball. It doesn't matter that it's green ball. You're better off playing matches with orange ball than taking instruction with yellow ball. I'm telling you that right now. With my 15 years of regular playing and coaching experience. That's a blanket statement. And back to this idea of playing matches, I remember watching this kid in a tournament. This was a yellow ball. It was probably 14 and under or 12 and under, and it might have been that sectional. I think it was sectional level. And this kid had a one-handed backhand, and he was slicing everything. And I watched this kid at a few tournaments, and eventually he started to come over the ball. And that's a good example there too, where someone might watch that and say, "Well, this kid can't hit a topspin backhand." Well, it doesn't matter because 10 matches later, 10, 15 matches later, 1 year later, this kid's hitting whatever he wants. And he gets it integrated in the match. He doesn't have to separate the two. So that's just another example that what patience can do with this process. And this idea of I don't even play 20 right now. I'm not even playing 20 matches a year. I'm playing the past couple years, for certain reasons, I'm only playing one or two players, maybe 30, 40 matches a year. And I rarely even play, but I get that in, and I'll do that before I train. I won't train because why bother when you're only playing 20 matches in a year? I'm telling you, it's worthless. So the thing is, it's hard to find people to play with. It's hard to find matches, and if you're playing tournaments, it costs money. It takes time, which costs money, and I think that's part of the reason too why people, one reason other than they don't want to deal with the wins and losses and the feelings that it brings up. But if you think about that, you can easily get in. I mean, I could get in 100 matches a year if I really wanted to. Uh, Even without indoor, I don't even need without even indoor in the the northeast of the United States. It's just it's difficult to find people to play with because of it's not that they're not there, they're there. I mean, you can use your imagination. I'm not going to get into the reasons, but there's a lot of reasons in this video. A lot of problems with this concept that have nothing to do with the concept itself. But a little bit more about this video. This court, okay, on this very court, I remember I taught myself the open stance modern forehand. And little bit of a change of subject here. I watched videos and I got the ball machine out because I was an assistant coach at this high school. I got the ball machine out that we had, and I had the ball machine hitting balls to me, and I loaded up on the right leg, and I was hitting big open stance forehands, and I taught myself that forehand. And then what I started to do, I started playing matches, and I was loading up on the right leg, and I was doing it so much, and this was on clay. It was like primarily on clay when I started playing the matches. I was doing it so much that I would cramp, and I couldn't play. I couldn't finish the matches like when this was happening. So I learned very quickly that that's not exactly how it works. You don't load up on every single forehand. Otherwise, you won't be able to play. And I also kind of was learning that some of these techniques and these lessons, they're not that effective. They're not match play. They're not appropriate for all matches, and I learned that as well. And you can see me here, even though like I said this is kind of just loosely hitting around, you're not going to load up on all. If you watch me play, you'll see there's a lot of situations. You're not like right there. You're not really pushing off that right leg really hard on every shot. So that's how I learned that lesson. And I remember even seeing like kids do this when they learn this as well. I think there's a lot of people that do this, that they do right there what I just did right there, and they really exaggerate it though, and it's kind of funny, but that comes from trying to do something that they saw in a video, or taking too many lessons. Because if you're playing a lot of matches, that would never happen. There's too much, especially against different players. You'll quickly learn that there's no way you're getting in that position on every forehand without making errors. But yeah, back to these matches. You know, I question anyone who's watching this. How many matches do you play? And I think you'll see how difficult it is to get into a lot of matches. Even unless you have a year round like USTA league too. Like here, I think we just have a season, and that'll get you. That might get you 8 to 10 matches. And I said doubles doesn't count, and the reason why doubles doesn't count because this is for improving and learning, and the movement just isn't there in doubles. It's never gonna be. Doubles is for. This is another one of my pet peeves. Doubles is for advanced players. And this is what they do to beginners too, because they can't play. They'll throw them on a doubles court, which is like the worst thing you can do. And they always try to justify it by saying it's good for the volley. There's just again, it goes back to this idea of match play. Like there's not enough play that precipitates doubles. And that's kind of, if you look at the Pro Tour and these tournaments, doubles is always supplementary. Because it doesn't take much energy to play doubles. So I'm going to leave you there with that. Hope you enjoy this one, and have a great day.